I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland
Navigation Radio, where we hit rewind on the top Disney headlines of 2024.
Yeah.
Yes, we are ringing in a new year.
Remember when they used to do this with music videos? I bet somebody still does this.
Hi, I'm Carson Daly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I do.
These were the top music videos of last year.
So it's like that,
Yeah.
but Disney parks and media headlines.
Right.
Yes.
Although we're not ranking them, we were just discussing.
No, it's not countdown style. I just kind of want to take like a little trip back down memory lane of the past year. A lot has happened in the Disney universe this year, and we kind of just wanted to share our thoughts on some of the major standout headlines that we've lived through as Disney fans this year, you know?
Yeah, the good, the bad.
The good, the bad, the
And
ugly. Before we dive into this list, and before we ring in 2025, we did want to say thank you for joining us this year. If this is the year that you discovered Neverland Navigation Radio, thank you for joining us. And if this is your first episode, it would super help us a lot if you would subscribe to the show, whether on an audio platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, where you can also leave a review that would help us out a lot, or on the YouTube channel, Neverland Navigation Co., where every week we upload a visual version of the podcast at full length for free for you to check out. We would love to see you on the YouTube channel and in the comment section there as well.
Yeah. Also, I am a free-to-you travel agent, so if you're thinking about taking any kind of trip, whether it be Disney or Universal or cruise or anything, send me an email at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com. I can help get you the best deal. I do deal monitoring. I can help you with planning out all your meals and everything. And the icing on the cake is that you get free custom trip t-shirts from our 5-star Etsy shop.
Yeah.
Yep, that's neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com. And then I'll give you contact information and we'll talk.
Nice. Yeah, start the new year in style. And take your next trip with Morgan, with her help. You will not regret that. And you will also not regret taking a trip with us today back in time through the headlines of 2024. As we've said, there has been much going on in the Disney universe, both parks, movies, Disney Plus, everything. And I kind of did want to start there in entertainment. It has been a monumental year at the box office for Disney.
Thank God.
Yeah, we were in a bit of a slump for a minute.
I was worried.
Yep, especially with original content. I don't know if you guys remember last year, but there were a couple films like Strange World and other things that didn't land in the box office the way that Disney had hoped. So we are having a lot more of a proliferation of super successful sequel films that have kind of littered the box office. And this year was kind of the most prevalent of them all, starting with Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was absolutely huge.
Yes.
Bigger than I think either of us expected it to be.
I know.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know Inside Out 1 was that big.
Right.
But as it turns out, Inside Out 2 is bigger.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. It really made a large cultural impact. I think this is one of those movies where even if families did not see it in movie theaters, the original one,
right?
It being so accessible on Disney Plus and being a favorite amongst kids ended up making it this huge juggernaut at the box office. How did you enjoy the film?
I loved it.
You loved it?
Yeah, did you love it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, that's right.
I'm so bad.
Gosh.
There are a couple.
I tried, you guys. I tried to get them.
It's the only thing on this list I have not seen yet. Okay. So give me a little credit. I have seen most of these. Inside Out 2, I have not gotten around to, and it's just been circumstantial. I liked the first Inside Out quite a bit, so I am actually very excited to get to this. I just haven't yet. It's aligning with my husband on, are we both not working? Are we both able to pay attention? Mm-hmm. Is it 10 o'clock at night already? Stuff like that.
Right. This movie was fantastic. They introduced some new characters, and those new characters were all really well received by everyone. It was so fun. It was such a fun next step in this story. It made so much sense. It was relatable. It had all the feels.
And hey, that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
For Inside Out. Now, for years, people have talked about Inside Out having a presence in the theme parks. Do you think the success of Inside Out 2 might eventually pay off in theme park form for the franchise?
Absolutely. I had not thought about that until you mentioned it. Do you have any thoughts? You clearly have thought about it.
I haven't really thought about it since until this exact moment, actually. When Inside Out the first, when Inside Out Senior came out, I actually saw a lot of rumor and speculation, innuendo and outuendo on the internet, discussing whether or not it would be the IP to overtake Journey into Imagination, starring Figment.
Oh my god, but they can't get rid of Figment.
But they can't get rid of Figment. That was my thought. I don't know. A lot of people were saying the meet and greet for Figment would be the solution to keeping Figment in the park and not having a ride for him. I find that to be deeply dissatisfying, especially since the Figment figure is quite unsettling.
I don't like
the in our opinion.
Meet and greet. The Figment character looks crazy. They did not catch his cute, whimsical personality in the look of this meet and greet figure. It reminds me of like how much Mickey seemed like distorted as a costume character back when Disneyland first opened. You know, like he
Terrifying.
he didn't look like the cartoon.
Right.
He was scary. You know what I mean?
Scary mouse man.
Yeah, and that's I feel like what happened with Figment.
That's Mortimer.
Figment, the animated character, is like fun and funny and whimsical, quirky. And quirky. And then this meet and greet is terrible.
It doesn't help that he's not one of the articulated ones that can like blink and talk.
Yeah.
I think that would really help.
I think the proportions are off.
I think they should have done, if they're really gonna go there, I think they should have done, I know people do not know who Dreamfinder is, but just to have a talking character, I think they should have had Dreamfinder, and I think they should have had a little Figment puppet or animatronic do the meet and greet as well. That's the Figment we want to see.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that if they used Inside Out to redo the
Imagination.
Yes, they could incorporate Figment.
Okay, yeah.
They could have brought him into the movie, to be honest, but I mean,
wow, what a twist that would have been.
Yeah.
To represent the concept of like creativity and imagination.
Yeah, right.
Ooh. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that quite a bit.
But I feel like there are some other places that
Inside Out
could go, but that does make a lot lot That the pavilion looks very whimsical in a Inside Out kind of way. They did an Inside Out, I want to say carnival type ride in Disneyland.
No, yeah.
I'm obviously not very impressed with.
No, yeah. Inside Out, Emotional Whirlwind at Pixar Pier is very much just like stickers on a carnival ride.
Yes, exactly.
I would love to see a more fleshed out version. Now, my heart actually, hold on, I'm having a brain blast. I'm using my imagination. The Play Pavilion has not seen any progress. Mm-hmm. And as you may remember, Pete Docter, I believe, who worked on Inside Out, says that the very concept of Inside Out was in part inspired by the attraction Cranium Command, which is a classic Epcot attraction in Wonders of Life.
Oh, they can put something back there.
And that entire auditorium is currently sitting in the same state it was when that attraction closed permanently, I believe, in 2006 or 2007. So
that whole pavilion could be Inside Out. I mean, if you've got 2 hit movies off of the same characters and everything. You can have a whole pavilion. You don't need just one ride.
Or even if they retool the Play Pavilion concept, having an Inside Out show in that theater, or an Inside Out simulator ride through the imagination or through whatever, I think that could work tremendously.
And these costume characters are great. They look exactly like they just jumped out of the movie and now they're there to give you a hug.
Yes.
So, unlike Figment, I think
that would be a great meet and greet.
Yeah.
And that is what they were saying would be a large part of what they would do with that pavilion when it was slated to be refreshed as the Play Pavilion. So I think that's my
Yeah,
I
that's
think
great.
that's my answer, because then you could also pay homage to the very inspiration of the film Cranium Command.
Right.
It would be full circle.
Yeah.
That
And
would be
that was
great.
that pavilion was about the body. You know what I
Yes,
mean? So it
yes.
makes so much sense, really, if you think about it. I don't know if they could take if they still have the stuff in the theater where Body Wars used to be, to kind of like update and revamp and give us a simulator type ride.
Yeah. The simulator cars were removed from the attraction, theoretically to use for the revamp of Star Tours around the world when it was transformed into Star Tours The Adventure Continues.
Okay.
So
maybe not that. That's fine.
But the bays are still there, so they could still go in that direction. It's just interesting to think about all the ways Inside Out could manifest in the parks. I would love to see something. That's one of those things that it's strange that we haven't gotten anything.
Right. Well, I can't think of a specific scene from either of those movies where I'm like, oh, I want to ride this. But except for, it really does lend itself to a lot of kid type rides because of all of the thought bubbles and stuff like that.
I
Thought
could
bubbles,
see,
that's
it's so sad because Bing Bong is such a sad, has such a sad storyline in Inside Out. But there's the part where they're bing bong, they have to sing the song and ride in the wagon thing to jump to the things, maybe something there. I don't know. I haven't really thought about what the actual experience would look like, but I just love how colorful the movies are. I love the style of all of the characters. I think it would translate really well. And obviously, Inside Out 2 has proven that these characters are really resonating with moviegoers.
Yeah. Interesting.
Inside Out 2, massive success for Disney. Disney also now is obviously the home of Marvel, and they also had a large impact with the film Deadpool and Wolverine. For months, it felt like marketing for this was everywhere.
Yes.
Commercials, brand deals, tie-ins. It was all over the place. How did you find the film?
I actually really, really liked this film.
You saw it in theaters.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not the world's biggest fan of the first Deadpool, just because my sense of humor didn't quite align with what they were going with.
Yeah.
And I more like superhero movies to be not quite as what's the word?
Violent, over the top, gratuitous violence.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the sexual, you know what I mean? All of that stuff.
Very mature content.
Yes.
In the Deadpool franchise.
Right. And this one was a little bit better.
Right.
But I found this one to be very, very, very funny. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. They put a story time with Deadpool in Disneyland, which I really liked. Do you know if Disney World has a copyright or licensing issue with bringing Deadpool into, or Wolverine?
I believe now, famously, we are not lawyers and doctors. However, I believe from doing the bit of reading that I have done, the rules are on this half of the Mississippi River, we, on this coast, at Walt Disney World, and by we I mean Imagineering, is entitled to utilize Marvel characters that are not represented at Marvel Superhero Island in Islands of Adventure. And this is actually kind of an interesting little thing because in various cafes, stores, and things, there are displays and murals dedicated to several characters from the Marvel franchise, and some have theorized that alone is enough to keep those properties out of Walt Disney World.
Last week you mentioned Doctor Strange not being allowed in Disney World because he lives in Universal Islands of Adventure, and I was like,
minimally.
Where?
Literally, I believe he's like a mural or something.
That's crazy. That's wrong.
That's wild.
I get the Hulk, I get Spider-Man, I get Doctor Doom, and Storm.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that I...
And the Fantastic Four have their own restaurant. I get that, too.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But All the other ones that are kind of just like scattered about.
They've got that Marvel that character dining. I don't know
Right.
who all is there. I know Captain America's there. That's their poster child for this character dining experience.
That's true, yeah.
So I could understand that one. But yeah, okay, well this takes out Wolverine because I've definitely seen a picture of comic book Wolverine in Islands of Adventure.
Cyclops. I believe we've seen Rogue or Jean.
Yeah.
There as well.
I don't know about Deadpool though.
Yeah, so to all of that to say, I don't believe Deadpool is represented in Marvel's Superhero Island, unless of course he is in a poster or something that I just haven't seen yet. It's kind of crazy.
I hadn't seen the Doctor Strange whatever.
But prior to Deadpool's resurgence in the Ryan Reynolds film adaptation, he was not a character that I saw out and about in the regular world very much.
Right.
He was kind of an underrepresented comic book figure.
Sure.
Well,
because he was for a comic book figure that was for adults.
Yes.
Which is makes it a smaller.
Right. Yeah. He's not like a Spider-Man.
Right.
Everywhere type of hero.
Right.
So Wolverine definitely out. Deadpool. Excuse me. I was shocked to see Deadpool represented at Disneyland.
Me too.
At all.
Because they keep saying this is an adult film. This is not for kids.
His films are R-rated.
Yeah, so if it's not for kids and he's in the Disney parks, does that even make sense? I don't know.
I don't know either. Definitely a weird territory that we have not been in before.
It sure is. I'm sure it's wildly controversial.
It's one thing when Mr. Toad and you're in hell, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. Deadpool and his suggestive brand of humor, which is being utilized to some extent in that story time thing. It's a very weird Disneyland thing to have.
Because okay. I don't want to get into...
No, yeah. It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
All right. We also had a huge resurgence. Disney is now the owners of Fox and Searchlight Pictures. They had a huge hit with Alien Romulus. This was a revamp of the Alien series. It was received very well. Alien has a bit of history at the Disney parks. Alien was represented on the Great Movie Ride. Oh, okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, the aliens are causing technical problems on our spaceship. Alien Romulus was a big do we need to take a fiver?
I don't know. I think that we can be heard from yours.
Okay, perfect. We will continue then. Sorry, our spaceship is counting down. Alien Romulus was a pretty big hit. Did you end up seeing this film?
I did not. There's no way.
Morgan is not a jump out and scare you movie type of person.
Yeah. Sorry.
Very understandable. I did get the chance to see Alien Romulus. My husband is an enormous fan of the Alien franchise. Aliens is actually one of his favorite films. So we were actually very excited to see Alien Romulus, and we saw it on opening day. I will say, I found this film to be great. It was immersive.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was immersive in the alien environment. I thought the story was very interesting, and I thought they made great use of the classic alien characters, being the xenomorph and the facehugger guys, which I hate. They're so scary, but in the movie they paid off. And they introduced some new figures as well that will haunt my dreams for the rest of my life. But overall, I really did think it was a great addition to the franchise. And it made me nostalgic for the alien sequence of the Great Movie Ride, which I thought was terrifying, but also so different and crazy at Disney's park.
That's as far as my alien love goes.
Yeah, I completely understand. But this was a huge hit for them. It did very well at the box office. They've already confirmed that there will be a sequel, so it just shoves the Alien franchise further into the future.
Back into the game.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a big hit for Disney. Good for them. Disney also put out another super successful sequel that we are seeing come in waves right now.
Right.
No pun intended.
Huh.
Which is Moana 2.
Yeah.
Morgan and I accidentally both watched Moana 2 on the same day, Thanksgiving,
But
this
not
year.
together.
Not together,
Because we
separate
didn't know.
theaters. We didn't
This
plan
was
it.
ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. Were you thankful for Moana 2, Morgan?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
How did you enjoy the film?
I liked it a lot. I like Moana 1 a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
One of my favorite, more recent Disney films, actually.
I
Moana.
would say so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yes. And I thought it was a great continuation. I thought it was a good story. I would watch it again. Those are the things that I look for.
Yes.
I am the kind of person that doesn't rewatch movies unless I like really, really love them. So
yeah, I completely agree. When we were talking about it a little bit earlier, when we realized that we watched it at the same time, you were saying that you really liked the aesthetics of the film as well.
That was like my favorite part. It's magical how impressive it looks.
I will say something that I really liked aesthetically about the film was how they played with light and color, like the light of the sun. I thought that was really, really beautiful. I found aesthetically it was a good match for the first one. I liked the new costume.
Such a beautiful film. It was so funny that they gave her a new costume.
I really liked the new costume.
I like it too. I was just like, of course they did that. You know what I mean?
It's such a sequel vibe.
She wore that same outfit for like the whole month of the first
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Anyway, I'm just joking.
No, it's funny. I love that if there are if there's like a princess type of character in the sequel, she has to, by contract, have a new entire outfit.
Right.
I like that they poke fun at that in the film a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a line where it's brought up.
Mm-hmm.
I like the new outfit. I like that they give Moana a new title. I think story-wise, all of those are interesting, fun things. I was unfortunately burdened with knowledge, as happens to me sometimes. This might not be an issue for most other people. I knew ahead of time that this was originally going to be a Disney Plus series. So there were moments of the film where I was like, oh, this little bit feels like one episode of television. And I don't know that it ever got out of that vibe into like a continuous story. For example, I feel like the scene where they're encountering the Kakamora again felt like one episode of television. The scene where they're Moana's down in the caverns with the one character who is trying to teach her to cut loose and find different ways to her destination. I felt like that was an episode of television. And I did not ultimately find the songs to be... There was one song I really enjoyed, Beyond, which Morgan was saying felt like a sequel to one of the songs from the first movie.
Wait, do you think this would have been better as a TV series?
That's something that I was mulling over when we had finished it. I was thinking this might have been a really fantastic... how fun to have a Moana original series. That may have really paid off.
I don't think so.
Well, definitely not financially. Look at the money they are making.
Yes, they're just killing it at the box office.
Yeah.
And I think that if it had come out as a TV series, I think we as adults think of a animated TV series as being just for kids.
Not for us.
Right. Whereas an animated, we made this into a full-on movie. You've got to go to the theater to see it.
Yes.
Like that does feel like it's for
a family outing.
Everybody. Yes, exactly.
Right.
So where a TV series might feel like something you just turn on while you're cooking dinner and your kids want to watch TV.
Yeah, so they are making all of that money from the families, which is a great thing for them. And I think
it was quality enough to be for the whole family and to get us to go out and see it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was certainly so excited for more Moana because I really enjoyed Moana, that there being a sequel alone was enough to get me to the box office. I did walk away wondering if I will ever watch this film again.
Oh, really?
Yes, I really have to. We have this in common.
Yeah.
I have to be head over heels with something to watch it multiple times.
Yeah.
I did feel that way about the first Moana. There are a couple songs and things in the second Moana that I thought maybe weren't quite as memorable. For example, Maui's song, the Chi Hu It song. Some of those things gave me a little bit of a made for TV type of vibe.
Really?
And that may just be because, unfortunately, I knew ahead of time that it was originally written for TV.
That sucks.
So take all of this with a grain of salt. I hope everyone enjoys Moana 2 as much as it is being commercially successful, because wow.
It would have been a pretty short TV series.
Yeah, not too,
because it's not even 2 hours.
Yes, I'm assuming they had to cut some things down to make it into a movie. It's really interesting that Lin-Manuel Miranda was not involved in this project, because he is involved in Disney's next feature release, which is Mufasa.
Right.
He wrote the original music for this. Something interesting about Mufasa is that in the trailers there is no singing, and we have no idea what these songs are going to be like.
It's so funny because when you were telling me that Lin-Manuel did Mufasa, I was like, I didn't even know that was a musical.
Yeah, isn't that?
Is it a musical?
I think so.
Why do they do this?
I don't know.
Why not Disney specifically? Anybody
to scare, because musical films in general in Hollywood are financial gambles. However, I think it is silly for them not to include. It
seems deceptive, though.
Especially a sequel, because the first one is one of the most well-known musical films of all time.
Yeah.
The Lion King. Now, I'm scared of Mufasa's music, the music in Mufasa, because the songs in the original Lion King are iconic. Written by Elton John and Tim Rice, powerhouses of songwriting. With every number in the movie is iconic.
Yeah.
Circle of Life, Can't Wait to Be King, Kuna Matata, every single one. Banger after banger after banger.
You're right, that's crazy, now that you mention it.
So Mufasa having original music from the composer of the song Scuttlebutt is a little bit concerning.
I was just thinking that. I'm like,
who will be rapping in Mufasa?
Yeah, I know. You want to be like, oh, he's so great. He did Moana, he did Hamilton, but he also did Scuttlebutt.
You have to.
So in case you haven't seen this movie, that we're referring to the live action Little Mermaid,
right? That
Lin-Manuel Miranda did the music for, and
yes, there are some songs I really enjoyed. From the Little Mermaid soundtrack. Wild Uncharted Waters, was one that I liked.
I didn't think any of them were the one that was most memorable was Scuttlebutt, because it was so wild and crazy.
Yeah.
The others I didn't find to be memorable. The other new songs.
Yes, there were a couple that I found to be entirely forgettable, which is not what you want in when you're dealing with Disney's most well-regarded properties, which are the Renaissance films generally. So now he's doing it again with The Lion King, and we shall see.
We shall see.
I'm hoping it's so fun and carefree, because that's the vibe they're presenting it as in trailers.
Well,
a fun, carefree. Well, I guess there's some drama.
There's a lot of drama.
Yeah. But I hope there's some.
A lot of family drama.
Yeah, I guess that is the name of the game for The Lion King.
We need to go in with a low bar.
Yeah, it's true.
Because
we also did not enjoy the Lion King live action.
Right.
So
this is part of the problem. It's going to be high in a family drama story plot, which might be okay. It might be fine.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know.
We're hoping
the fact that they are advertising it as something that it's not bothers me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like when they do that. Musicals
remember how much
have this problem
that what's the movie that came out? Mean Girls.
A lot, yeah, a couple.
They promoted it as not a musical.
Right.
And then people were furious.
Something very similar happened with the recent reincarnation of The Color Purple as well, because the newer Color Purple film is a musical. The original Color Purple film is not a musical, and there was not a lot of indication that it would be a musical in the trailer. So people were surprised. There was singing.
But it was a full-on musical.
People were surprised by how much singing. In fact, when we went to see it in theaters, someone in the theater, when one of the characters began to sing, it was the famous line that Sophia says, my whole life I've had to fight. When she started to sing that line, someone in the audience said out loud, they'll sing about anything in this movie. Which we laughed at. So...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a problem with underselling the musical quality of these films that's coming out. That's concerning.
I just think sell it as what it is.
Exactly.
I don't see how you want people getting to the theaters and being surprised.
I know. Jump scare.
Like,
it's a musical.
Like, not surprised in a good way. Surprised in a, this isn't what I signed up for way, and I spent all this money because movies are not cheap.
Exactly.
Don't like that. I don't like that. I didn't know, and now I know, and now I'm bothered.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So we'll see if it's got a good story in the music. I love a musical.
Me too. Me too.
You actually heightened the sellability to me as a human. But
maybe there'll be great songs in there.
But if they're great, why are they leaving them out of the ads? It's craziness.
Maybe it'll be a pleasant surprise.
I've seen so many ads for this movie.
Yeah, right. Me too.
And not one musical number. So yeah, I guess I'm hopeful.
Fingers crossed. Speaking of pleasant surprises, you were pleasantly surprised by Agatha All Along on Disney Plus.
I really, really liked Agatha All Along on Disney Plus. So this is a sequel or a spinoff. I don't know which you would call it to WandaVision.
Yeah.
And it's funny because after I watched the first episode, I wasn't hooked. And I was like, oh, I'm going to keep watching this though because my kid wants to watch it. My husband wants to watch it. And I was still like mildly intrigued, but I thought, oh, I can get some work done while this is on. Right. But then by like episode 2 or 3, I was hooked.
Really?
And that's how it was with WandaVision.
That's also how I was with WandaVision, so it makes me think maybe I will really enjoy it.
I really think you will enjoy it after you get past like the beginning.
Okay, I have to say I was shocked to see, of all the people to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Patti LuPone was not on my list.
Right.
I was very surprised to see her involved, and I love her, so I'm excited.
This series does have a bunch of surprising elements in a good way.
Good.
So, yes, that's surprising. Well, yeah.
The Down the Witch's Road song I have heard a lot.
Yes,
online.
Very catchy. What do you think?
I like it a lot. I think it's an earworm for sure.
Yes.
And in a world where things are measured by TikTok trends and things, I think it's great that they were able to have such a prolific, piece from the show going around being heard all the time. That's how you make money. Nowadays. So good for them. The marketing was very effective for Agatha All Along, and I'm excited to see it. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I do hope to watch it and I do hope to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you should. Yes.
It is definitely on the list. Maybe I think it's a fun spooky
It
vibe.
was also a really good timing wise. It was out around the Halloween spooky season.
Right, exactly.
And it was nice.
Smart.
Because, yes, exactly. A lot of times I will play when we're eating dinner or whatever, we'll be playing like old sitcoms that have Halloween episodes and stuff like that. This is something that was new but fit in with spooky season vibes. Right. And I liked that a lot. Yeah. Without being a horror movie. That's why I do the sitcoms with Halloween episodes, because horror movies, I like some of them. I like Scream, but a lot of them I don't like because for me personally, they're too gory or they're too jump scary or whatever. Yes, exactly. So this was nice.
Yeah, witchy, but not too scary.
Yes. All right.
Are we ready to talk about some theme park stuff?
Yeah. So, news of 2024.
In Walt Disney World and beyond, but let's start at home.
Yeah, let's start at home. Let's start about what we waited on forever and ever and ever.
Yes, Epcot has completed its massive transformation, specifically the transition from the original Future World half of the park to a new series of neighborhoods that have opened up, kind of forming one new Future World. Thank you
for that.
You're welcome. They are.
I'm not willing to split these up in my head.
The neighborhoods are a little confusing. I think we all agree that is probably something that may even kind of fall off.
I think
time
so.
Goes on.
You know how when you go from Adventureland to Frontierland, so much about the street, the stores, the music, the feeling in the air all changes to let you know you're in a different land.
Right.
That doesn't happen here.
At all.
At all. Not like the floor is the same. The buildings are the same. Like it sorry, no, I can't.
Yes, and it was, Epcot originally had this great idea of left brain and right brain and this symmetrical layout around Communicore, and one side is this and one side is that. And that is great, but it was all together as Future World, which made it very effective for guests to be immersed in the futuristic Epcot vibes of it all, which I really enjoyed. I still do think that is the case, and I think it's over categorizing to lump them into new neighborhoods. I don't think they needed to do it, and I don't think most people could tell you off the top of their head which attraction is in which neighborhood.
Exactly.
Which is the telltale sign that
it's not working.
They didn't need to exist in the first place. That being said, we are very excited for the walls to be down around Epcot. We enjoy the new Dreamers Point area, which is like a fountain thing and a statue of Walt Disney, and I'll say this, a place to watch points of light.
Okay.
The Spaceship Earth.
I really feel like you could go hang out there and do some homework.
That is right.
It's a weird,
lots of tables and chairs,
lots and USB outlets,
right.
And so it's very
shopping mall,
almost college
campus-y,
yeah, which is weird. Yeah.
Weird. Not what I thought.
But there are elements that we do love. We love the lights on the floor and or the ground, I guess I should say, the cement in some parts.
I gotta say, that is the most disappointing part of it to me, that it opened with those concentric circles of light that were on the floor, and I loved them because they were kind of like a harkening back to some of the lighting effects that we loved from Future World Past. They are no longer functional. They don't.
Shut up.
You didn't know that?
No.
I can't believe I'm breaking this to you.
Oh my god. I just haven't been to Epcot at night in a while.
Yeah.
We've been to Epcot, but not at night. And walked over there and thought about it. Oh my freaking...
There has recently been an update to Soarin', where at the end of the film, they have... Well, there have been several updates to the film. But at the end, they have updated the Epcot flyover at the finale of the attraction, and it shows off this very cool lighting effect on the concrete. However, in real life, they no longer illuminate at nighttime.
I'm gonna lose it. That was like the thing that I was so excited about. We were like, oh, this is like a throwback.
We really thought it was magical.
What happened? Do we not know? Did you just see news?
There has been much rumor and speculation. A lot of people from... So here's the thing. It's hard to know who to trust in these situations because Disney, of course, has not put out a statement confirming conclusively what has happened to the lights. All that we know is they don't turn on at night anymore. What people have said who theoretically, supposedly have inside information is that they were pressure washed too hard and broken. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that makes sense because you would think that they would build the lights to be able to withstand hurricanes, pressure washing, guest pummeling, because you can't control how people behave. So we don't know what's wrong with the lights.
Do we know if they're gonna get fixed?
It has been over a month of the lights not being functional, so it is up in the air. We are hoping...
We got a Yeti situation.
I know. We're hoping beyond hope that they return, of course.
I'm so disappointed.
Because they were my favorite part of the new Epcot front, you know?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we're hoping that those come back. There are things like Connections. We forget that Connections Cafe, Eatery, and the new Starbucks, because that was one of the first things to open, is part of this Epcot transformation.
Yeah, but it wasn't 2024.
No, it wasn't 2024, but...
Moana opened in 2024, right?
Yeah, or I don't know, but that's also part of this transformation, and we did really enjoy those additions to the Epcot transformation, so definitely not a complete abject disappointment. However,
no, it's good. I just can't get over this because it's breaking news to me.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
If I had known, I would have sent you something and been like, "What in the world? Who do we campaign to?"
I know. Who can we write a letter to?
Yeah. but so overall, we are so happy that the walls have come down.
Oh my gosh,
that
it's
we've
been
got,
so long.
Yeah, we can actually walk from Mission Space to the Imagination Pavilion without a wild detour.
Exactly.
That was a bad example, but you know what I meant.
No, you can cut through the center of the park again.
Right, and without the eyesore, was the walls.
Right, and as the aesthetic quality of Epcot is such a big piece of enjoying the park, that having walls throughout the entire middle was a bit of a downer for a while. So we're definitely, at the very least, very glad that the walls are down and that the transformation has been completed.
And that Soarin' got updated.
Yeah, Soarin'.
I was worried about that.
Wild card, out of left field.
No announcement. Just
another
shows up.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely unannounced.
Thank you for that, Disney, because
we have yet to ride it.
Yeah.
So theoretically the Eiffel Tower situation has been remedied.
That's what we're told.
So we will report on that.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna ask for the worst seat in the house. We normally ask for the best seat.
I would like extra feet, please. Can you do that?
Far right. Extra feet. Yeah. So that's a good thing. That I was really genuinely worried that 5 years would go by and we'd still be looking at old Epcot.
Oh my gosh!
Finale scene. So this was good, and we thought so. Earlier this year, they changed it to Old Soarin',
right? California,
Soarin' over California for a while, and we're like, oh, great, they're gonna fix it so that it's right, and then switch them back. But then they switched them back, and it was still the old film.
No
so
changes.
That was weird. So glad that this happened.
Maybe it just wasn't done in time or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But what time? There was no time. All it said on Soarin' over California was like limited time.
Yeah, limited time.
That could mean anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it was cool to see them make
cool.
that Soarin' change. Yeah, that was something that I didn't even have on here, but absolutely. All right, we have another kind of logistical change that happened this year. Changes to Genie Plus, which was that the Genie Plus system overall was renamed to Lightning Lane Multipass and Individual Lightning Lane. Oh wait, sorry, I read this wrong. Disney Genie Plus renamed Lightning Lane Multipass and Individual Lightning Lane to be called Lightning Lane Single Pass. There was also the addition of Lightning Lane Premium as a thing. I will say the thing about this that I found, these changes that I found to be what I can summarize about them is that they are really still tinkering with this whole Disney Genie Plus / Lightning Lane situation, trying to nail down the formula of what makes people happy and most accessible. And it's been a bit, I would say, maybe of a rocky road fan reception-wise, but I am sure it continues to make them a ton of money. And it just is additional things that guests need to learn and stay on top of to make sure they're getting the most out of their Disney World experience.
Yes, very confusing, but
rule changes.
Overall, I hear and see a lot of complaining about the paid Genie Plus, which is now multi-pass system, and I always glass half full think to myself, it's so much cheaper than Universal. It's so much cheaper than Busch Gardens, you guys. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But the Premier Pass or the Premium Pass, whichever it is, I forget right now.
Yeah.
That's the one that is more on par with Universal.
Right. This latest announcement.
Except for that you can go over and over at Disney.
Yeah.
And at Universal, you still pay this exceptionally high price to just go on each ride once.
Right, exactly. In kind of a bid to encourage guests to stay on property and to reap the benefits of the included Express Pass that you would receive at a Universal resort stay. Now, with a Disney resort stay, you will not be entitled
to anything.
Yeah. So that is a stark difference.
They were only allowing you to purchase the Premier or the Premium if you were in a deluxe hotel, which is crazy. And then they changed it to you. If you're staying in any Disney hotel, you can purchase it, but it's still a purchase, and it's a spendy purchase.
Yes, deluxe version.
Yeah, this is for the 1% in my head.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it can be up to like $400 per person per day.
Right.
But you get to skip the line nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even adjusted for inflation, there has never been a more pricey time to visit Walt Disney World. If you look at the numbers on that, it is staggering how much tickets have become. So when things like this are rolled out, you start to do some math in your brain. Absolutely. We are not necessarily the type of people who will be experiencing this very often. So it's interesting to see it fold out because how it plays out and how it's received and how long it will go without having additional changes will be, the measure of its impact.
But multipass is something that I do suggest for people coming on vacation. And it is something that I utilized when we went on our vacation to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And in Disneyland, multipass is the identical, exact same thing as Genie Plus was. In Disney World, it has changed. But price-wise, they're both, I would say, reasonable, especially when you compare it to Universal, for somebody that's going on vacation every once in a while, maybe not like us locals. We're not doing this.
It's our big Disney World trip.
Yes,
that's who they're aiming at with this, of course.
And yeah, you're right. I think that they changed it from Genie Plus to Multipass because they felt like the name was confusing because of the Genie planning system also being something that you can and should utilize for free.
Yeah.
But I don't think Multipass was the right name for it. So everybody's referencing that movie.
Yes, The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element.
Yeah. So we'll see. When we do the 2025 rewind,
I'll be curious to see if this changes.
We could expect to see this again, I think. To see more changes to this as it continues to roll out.
Although at some point, even if you don't have it, you gotta just leave it because you're confusing the crap out of everybody.
Yeah. The more changes that happen, I think the more some people will continue to yearn for a simplified fast pass-esque system. And perhaps this is a bid to, at some point, reintroduce Fast Pass as a paid
I hope not.
service.
Well, Fast Pass, yes, but Fast Pass was always like Genie Plus.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They were basically the same.
What I'm worried about is them coming up with something just as expensive as Express. And similar to Express Pass at Universal, where you don't need specific times.
Yeah.
You just pay a crazy amount of money and you can get on.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like but not over and over, one time.
Right. That's right.
Isn't that how that works?
I think so, yeah. You can only do each attraction express one single time. I think that is true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see. Keep listening. We'll talk more. Let's move on. We've had some really big openings at the parks this year. The major billboard one being Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. This was a major media story because Splash Mountain was controversial.
Loved.
But yes, beloved by fans.
Nostalgic, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. So this was going to be a big change. There were a lot of questions about what the story of the attraction was going to be like.
A lot of excitement and a lot of hype. Might have been a problem.
Yeah, I would say Tiana's Bayou Adventure, if it were a film, would have mixed reviews. Uh-huh. There are some people who absolutely love the refresh, and of course there are going to be loyalists to the original attraction that nothing you could have done would have, pleased them. I think we are right in the middle.
Yes. There are things I love about it, like the animatronics.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And then things that I'm disappointed by.
The story.
Yeah, the story. Oh my God. The fact that it's still just Splash Mountain.
Right. And they did not make any
the story makes no
ride
sense.
System updates or anything like that.
This is also our concern with Rock and Roller Coaster if you haven't figured that out yet.
Right. Although I think there may be even less budget applied to Rock and Roller Coaster than there was to Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Okay, well,
remains to be seen. We're obviously hoping for more budget, if anything. But yeah, the animatronics in the ride are a triumph, and it's certainly open to major fanfare on both coasts. Another opening that we had this year was the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, and this was an unexpected delight for us podcast hosts.
Yeah.
We loved it. We were not expecting Country Bear Jamboree to receive the kind of love and attention that this refresh granted it. A complete rework of the sound system, a complete refresh of the appearance of the animatronics with brand new costumes, and new arrangements and recordings of the entire audio presentation.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed the songs that they chose, the new arrangements, the comedy we thought was a major win, and we will be delighted to watch the show over and over again in the future, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, this is probably, of the things on this list, I actually think this may be my favorite thing to happen this year.
Oh, wow.
The Country Bear Jamboree refresh. I thought that was...
Are you just talking about park stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I thought that was really great.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. We also had a big Disney event this year in D23. If you would like to go back and listen to our D23 episode, we cover each of these announcements pretty extensively because there was a lot to talk about. They dropped a lot at once. But just a quick recap, and we'll talk a bit about each of these things. These are some of the major announcements that they put out. The first being for Disney Cruise Line, a lot of major announcements, and Morgan is the resident Disney Cruise Line expert amongst us, so I'm going to let her take this one away. How do you feel about all of the cruise line announcements that they made?
I'm obsessed with this. I am so excited. I've been on every Disney cruise ship, and
amazing.
I love them all in their own way. I just, it's my happy place is on a Disney cruise.
Yeah.
So them putting out announcing 4 new ships is like, it's just so exciting.
Yeah.
For it's like the equivalent of announcing 4 new lands if you're
right.
Which I'm both, so it's hard. But yeah.
Because it comes with new dining experiences, new
shows, hopefully. That's the thing I always get mad about. But yeah, new shows.
But not here.
So far, it looks good.
Right. We thought we would be mad because the Disney Treasure, or was it Destiny? It was Destiny. The Disney Destiny teased a heavy Hercules presence. And then it seemed like there were going to be no new theatrical presentations. But then,
I do think that's the case on the Disney Treasure.
Okay, gotcha. But then at D23, they announced that it will, in fact, be Hercules as the new... Aren't they getting a Moana musical on one of these as well? Yes, one of these will receive a Moana musical. That's very exciting as well. And like we were just talking about, one of my favorite things about these cruise line announcements is to see which of the dining experiences will receive which theme, because it's not just a themed restaurant.
Oh, you're right. Treasure is getting Moana.
Okay, great. That is very exciting.
That is very exciting. And then they're getting some of the old ones back.
Okay, cool. As long as we get at least one new one on each boat, I will consider that a win.
Yeah, but it was sounding like we weren't.
I know, and that was crazy.
Yes.
But they were just saving it to
announce later.
To surprise us.
Yes.
And we both were like, "Oh my god, Hercules."
Oh my gosh, I already put money down.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. So when they did pre-sales, pre-sale is a really good time to book.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go ahead and email me at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com, and I'll still get you the best deal that's out there. But when pre-sales came out for this, I was like, I know I'm going to be booking this, so I'll just go ahead and put my deposit down.
That sealed the deal for you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I, as someone who loves Hercules,
I love Hercules. My little sister used to watch this movie on repeat, so it's just such a big part in my heart. It's such a big show. Yeah.
And it's got Disney Cruise Line history.
Yes.
And Hercules the musical.
Yes.
So it's really cool to see what they're going to do with it. And as we were saying, these dining locations are no longer just restaurants as well. They're fully interactive entertainment experiences, highly themed as well.
Yes.
So another exciting thing.
They're like a dinner show.
Yes, a dinner show. It'll be exciting, very exciting to see what those end up being like,
Yeah,
because
some of them are already, Lion King is getting one. Yeah, go on.
No, it's just some of them are incredible. So it's exciting to see that form in different themes, because when we're talking about this Marvel one, we're talking about this Frozen one that already exists. They're all universally basically adored for their quality.
Exactly.
Super exciting.
The Adventure still hasn't announced a new
show. Okay, got it.
But that's the one that's going to be sailing out of Singapore. So that one's going to be a little further down on my list, because I've got to save up flying to Singapore money.
Right. That is a whole adventure right there.
And like flying to Singapore time, because from here, that is a lengthy plane ride.
And they have not announced everything about this boat, the ship. I keep saying boat. They've not announced everything about the ship either. So it's so possible.
Yeah, we don't know. You know what I mean? Like I really thought they had basically announced all of the shows for. They made it seem like we knew what shows would be on the treasure, and then they did a little switch up and added Hercules.
Right.
So I don't know. We don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Exciting. I'm just beyond excited for these.
The Disney Cruise Line brand continues to be a pinnacle of excitement for the Disney company.
Yeah.
In terms of both quality and innovation in the new offerings. So we are super excited every time they do huge announcements like this, because it continues to strengthen a brand that Disney has really made for themselves. Every time Morgan goes on a Walt Disney World cruise, I am thrilled when she comes back, because she gets to tell me all of the amazing things that she got to experience and show me like videos and clips and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very fun. All right, Walt Disney World. We got a ton of announcements.
Yeah.
Some of them are crazy. Let's start with the Doors coaster.
I'm so excited. Been dreaming about this since I first saw the movie.
Yeah, I think everyone is on the same page that we're thinking this is going to be awesome. There was a trend this year that was interesting of taking fan ideas and making them real.
Yeah.
That we've never had a D23 like exactly.
Yeah.
We've never had a D23 like that before.
Right.
Where these things that have been rumors or ideas amongst fans for years and years, are being announced at D23. Part of that, I think, is also they did not announce the Rock and Roller Coaster update at D23, but that fits in as well. People have been reimagining Rock and Roller Coaster online.
Yeah.
For quite a long time. Some with the Muppets. I've seen some of that throughout the years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never.
Really?
No, never. And
I've even seen people say, put the Electric Mayhem.
Oh, really?
Like that, that on the nose. Now, I'm not saying that that could not be parallel thinking and those ideas did not come from inside of Disney Imagineering themselves, but we've never seen a time where the announcements of new Disney experiences have been so closely aligned with fan concept.
Right. Well, the Rock and Roller Coaster one feels to me like a reaction to everybody being so worried immediately after the announcement of Monsters Inc. Land that Muppets would go away. Right.
Huge topic of conversation right off the bat.
Yeah.
They also announced a huge change to Frontierland. The filling in of the rivers of America and the retheming of that area and Tom Sawyer Island to become a brand new section of Frontierland inspired by the Cars franchise, featuring a new e-ticket free roaming ride system where the cars will move without a track on like an off-roading adventure is what they announced.
It's hard to imagine.
It's hard to imagine. We've not experienced anything really like that before. It makes me think vehicle-wise, like in a thrill version of the King Kong attraction at Universal Studios, where you're in like an automated free roaming Jeep thing, except this one will do like thrilling things like tilt you and accelerate and all kinds of things.
Okay.
Sounds like it could be a very exciting attraction. I look forward to hearing Life is a Highway a lot. A huge announcement, of course, that we are learning little by little about is a concept for a villain's land that will be appearing beyond Thunder Mountain in the future. This is crazy. Disney announced recently that this will feature 2 attractions. No idea what they're going to be, but we're going to have 2 attractions there.
We strongly feel like one of them will be a roller coaster because of the art.
Right. In the concept art, there is this pictured Maleficent dragon battle roller coaster.
With a mountain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
On like some type of treacherous mountain.
Yeah.
That looks amazing. We know nothing about it, but we're super stoked.
Mm-hmm.
We also got this big Tropical Americas announcement as the replacement of Dino Land USA, featuring a new Indiana Jones attraction, a new Encanto attraction, and a carousel village area. We have been waiting for news of the announcement for Dino Land USA's replacement for quite some time, so this was not exactly a shock. But it is cool to know what is going to come. We are looking very much forward to this and hoping the Indiana Jones attraction is as magical and awesome in a new way as the one in Disneyland.
Yes.
Right. And this might be something that we were most excited about. Walt Disney World is receiving a new nighttime parade called Disney Starlight.
Mm-hmm. This is them listening to us again.
Yes, this is definitely them listening to us again. The concept art shows a parade in the vein of something like Paint the Night, or Spectrum Magic, right, where it is a nighttime light parade, and we are beyond thrilled about that. Disney Starlight is, I think that's a good name for the parade. I'm excited to hear what ends up on the soundtrack, and recently they released a new piece of concept art that shows Encanto will be included, and the float looks like the candle, the magical candle, and the butterfly. So that's really cool. I'm really excited for this parade. I don't know how the traffic situation is going to be. I'm not going to think about that yet. You know,
we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, the crowds we'll deal with when it's crowd time.
Okay.
We have new news for the other coast as well. That being that Disneyland will receive a brand new Avatar inspired land, not a copy, not a Pandora, the World of Avatar like we have here stateside in Animal Kingdom, but instead a brand new world from the imaginations of Disney Imagineers, inspired both by the first Avatar, the Avatar sequel, The Way of Water, and the upcoming Avatar films as well. So we don't know what the attractions are going to be or anything like that yet, but very interesting. We were not expecting it, I will say that.
Yeah.
Out of left field. We barely thought that we would get an Avatar land. Especially because at the time Disney did not own Avatar.
At the time it was craziness.
We couldn't believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're doubling down on this.
Yeah. Well,
it's a very popular land in Animal Kingdom.
It's true.
It's the driving force, I'd say.
And we made money with Disney made a lot of money with The Way of Water. It was a financially successful sequel. And
was it?
Yes, and they're hoping that the further installments of the franchise will generate a similar amount of revenue. So we'll see. Maybe we will get another world quality attraction like Flight of Passage.
I love Flight of Passage.
Yeah. It's cool to...
It's my favorite part of the Avatar franchise. It is. I don't care about the movies that much.
The shaman animatronic may be my favorite part. But it is...
Over that whole ride, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes the ride's a little blurry.
Only recently, though.
Yeah, I think I read something that said that they fixed it. So we might need to do it again.
Oh gosh.
Just to see.
Okay.
So we need to do Soarin' and Flight of... Oh my god, yeah, Rope Drop. That's the only way. Flight of Passage and Soarin' again to see the updates there.
Okay.
The other thing we've got is a Coco boat ride, shockingly not at Epcot, and instead at Disney's California Adventure.
Like, I don't get this one, but I'm very excited for it to exist in the world.
Me too. I
just think we've got the perfect spot for it. We've got a ride that is just in desperate need of something.
And half Coco themed already. Basically.
In taking place in Mexico already. I don't get how we didn't get this one. I feel like this was a typo, and they're like, all right, well, now we got to roll with it.
Well, now
we already announced it.
Clear the land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he say land?
No, my God. I hope this ride is amazing. I love a boat ride. I think Coco is the perfect fit for a boat ride, as we've discussed for years.
Yeah.
Just not at this park. So I hope that this is awesome. I
Me
think
too.
the music for Coco is also perfect for a boat ride like this. I can just picture sailing along to the songs from the score.
Yeah.
And that's about it from
Great
D23. Album. There are a couple other minor things that, will pop up throughout the year, but
these were our major, yeah.
What a big year in Disney 2024 has ended up being.
Yeah.
Yeah, between announcements and openings, I feel like every month there was something new to talk about or report on or experience. It's been a fun year. I'm excited for the future of Disney parks as well, because Hollywood Studios, my gosh, I feel like we just got such major changes to Hollywood Studios. It's crazy that we're about to get a bunch more.
Right.
It's good to see so much investment in our parks, though.
It really is. Yeah. And the cruise line. Yeah.
And the cruise line, of course. Even though...
Both. They're putting a ton of money into both of these.
Right. And, that's what they need to stay relevant and at the top of the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us in this little recap. We really appreciate it. If you guys would like to hear more from us, we would love to see you not only in the podcast reviews, letting us know that you enjoyed the episode, but also on social media if you'd like to find us on Instagram or TikTok at Neverland Navco.
Yeah, we also have an Etsy store called Neverland Navigation, where we do custom t-shirts, sweatshirts, and dish towels. You just send us a message and let us know what you love, and we will show you some ideas.
Absolutely. All right, Morgan, we're off to ring in the new year, so we will see you on our next adventure. Goodbye.